Good morning, Rupert.
Good morning, David. Nice to see you.
What were you going to call me then?
I'm just taking in your shirt, but anyway, there we go.
What's wrong with the shirt? This is actually one of my more toned-down, sombre ones.
Well, yes, I suppose I should think that, maybe. Anyway. But
You should think that. So you're not at the races or anywhere playing polo or anything?
No. I've just come back from Saudi Arabia where I have been watching some elite show jumping.
Of course you have. Right.
So,
OK.
As you do.
Well, as you do. Now, let's talk about what's going on here. Queen Camilla has not been very well. She's pulled out of various royal engagements. What do you know?
Well, we've been hearing it's a chest infection. Now, we know when we get to a certain age, these infections can linger stubbornly. And she has not really slowed down her schedule. She has been very much out and about. But clearly this has knocked her a bit for six. And on Friday, when it was the Royal Variety performance, doctors decided, and with her advisors, perhaps you don't need to go to this, just take stock, because she's had a reasonably busy week, and it's a long show, out and about. The King went as is usual. It's an important part of the royal year, this Royal Variety performance. You think back through the years, you've seen all the great and the good of the showbiz have appeared in there. Even John Lennon most famously gave a fabulous quip to all the people in the posh seats rattle their jury back in the 60s. So it was a very much a landmark night. But hosted by this year by Alan Carr and Amanda Holden. The King always looks forward to it. I mean, it does go on a long time, 3.5 hours. But obviously, it was decided that the Queen, who's got, again, lots of engagements next week, and they don't take the decision lightly to pull out of events because they know people will be disappointed. So it's not an easy decision, but obviously doctor's advice clearly says, for once, stay at home.
Do you think there's anything more to it?
I wouldn't know. Like, we've been speculating on royal family members' health all year. Look, she's 76, or maybe 77. So therefore, it does take time. When we get to a certain age, they are stubborn. They don't go away. There are far better people qualified to know what is actually going on, and with a chest infection. But, we do know it can knock you for six. And she's obviously someone who doesn't like to sit still. She has to a darn job to keep her husband from going out and about as he continues his recovery from cancer.
She has to keep him under control, quite right. Well, talking of which, the Coronation, which I thought was a splendid affair, the official figures put the price of that event at 72 million. Now, the Republic, which is the anti-monarchy group, says it is likely to have cost more. But actually, wasn't it relatively, I mean, I wouldn't say cheap, but wasn't it relatively cheap compared with the late Queen's funeral, for example?
Absolutely, and that was very much the King's mantra, don't go over the top. And look, it was a stretch for all the soldiers. We have to have all the ceremonial side. Now, where you have to look, when I go to a sports event, people look at the sort of economic impact on that event to a certain area. I live in the Cotswolds, and they talk about the Cheltenham Festival having £100 million impact to the local area. So when you take that 72 million, what was the economic benefit to the country as a whole? While it may have cost 72 million, and people might wince at the price for someone, as the headline said, to have a hat put on his head, rather cheekily. But if you look at the impact, was it more than 72 million, and did it benefit the country and put us on the shop window on a global scale? Because it was televised around the world and there was a great deal of interest. So I think you have to try and put the 72 million in context, but you can be assured that the Republicans will say, well, we've heard that argument forever. We actually just want to get rid of the institution rather than what it might bring in from an economic point of view to the country.
I think you're right. I mean, I think it's very thinly veiled that the cost of policing the ceremony was 21 million. A further 50 million in costs racked up by the DCMS. But you're right, and certainly when I last look, every pound you spend on the monarchy, it brings in, what, £5, £6, £7 in tourism back to the UK. So for any business, if that was a business investment, that would stack up.
It should. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people might have done the research. when you can see what was it like to hotel prices probably in the area. I mean, I certainly know that during the Queen's funeral, hotel prices in central London went absolutely through the roof. So it is, you know, we know that there will be benefits, but do enough people benefit? Well, you know, there were lots of people, restaurants and people, hotels, name it, and then filtering on through the country as well, there would have been an economic benefit. But what it is, obviously, there are maybe people who actually have worked this one out. But 72 million on the face of it, yes, it's a lot of money when you just read it, but probably the better economic impact was better for the country.
Let's pause for the moment, Rupert. We'll continue after this break. This is Weekend Breakfast. Good morning. Right, let's move on now and talk about this subject that hit the headlines yesterday. This is about the Princess of Wales recovering herself, actually. You know, I think she has such a sense of humanity and humility, and she's done something else, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's invited some of the children involved in the dreadful scenes in Southport, which, of course, has dominated much chat in the intervening period since that horrible day. And so she does this concert every year, which is now, I think, very much part of Christmas in terms of what she is about, and puts a lot of effort in it. We've seen her play the piano at it before. It's something that means a lot to her. And I think this is where she's probably while we won't see her, okay, we saw her at the Remembrance Day, but this will be something that she will be determined to be at. And obviously, there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. It's all the family there just before Christmas. It's obviously a televised event as well. But to invite the Southport children, it does show that she's aware that they would, you know, bring a bit of joy, hopefully, into their Christmas by coming down. And it will be a glittering occasion, but at the heart of it, it's got a good intention. And obviously, for the Princess of Wales, it's an important night, and hopefully she will feel well enough to go. I'm pretty sure she will get there because they've been managing her appearances, and it will be something that she will be making sure she's at. But obviously, it'd be even better that she can actually meet these children in person.
Well, quite. 1,600 people will be there. But other members of the royal family, are they expected?
Well, yes. Well, obviously, Prince William comes and their children will be there, and I'm sure there are plenty of others who go there. I'm not quite sure it's a three-line whip, but if they want to, I'm sure they will be there. How many exactly, I don't know, but it is something that they enjoy, and certainly the Prince and Princess of Wales do enjoy it, and with their children as well. It's a part of their Christmas festivities.
It is, and actually I think you can see the sense of warmth from the public towards Kate, particularly, and I think people actually really understand her own personal battles, and I think it sort of resonates with many people around the country. Let's talk about my favourite couple, though, shall we? Meghan and Harry.
Yes, I suppose you want to go Netflix trailers. Have you seen them?
Why not?
Well, we do know that in a few weeks' time, I don't know exactly, there will be this new documentary dropping onto Netflix, POLO. It's obviously a sport that Harry is involved in. I've seen the trailer. It's quite clearly who's produced it. I've never seen such a big sort of, almost like a Cecil B. DeMille thing. I'm announcing that it's Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke, and produced by Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But we don't actually see him involved in any of the scenes in the trailer. Now, it's obviously, he's got lots of friends over there. It's an ego-driven sport, and some of the people in it don't lack for egos, because to play polo, it's you and the patrons of the various teams are normally very wealthy people, because there's no money in the sport, but it's all about the glory. Yes, it's a thrilling sport to be part of. It's not an easy sport to understand. Well, it's fairly simple to understand, but to follow it as a spectator, it's not very easy, and that's why it's not necessarily caught on from a television point of view. But it's got to get down to what people really want. The sort of it's going to show, like all sports documentary, the drama behind the occasion. But since Drive to Survive, there are just myriads of these sports documentaries now. Why is this one going to be successful? Yes, people might watch it because it's produced by Harry, but if he's not in it, then I think people might actually go, well, this is just another sports documentary featuring a lot of very wealthy people who...
Oh, come on, Rupert. You're being naive here. Surely it's about seeing sexy people, isn't it? It's Jilly Cooper reincarnated. It's like all of those things, like Below Deck. You want to see that, you know, you want to see all the sexy people, don't you?
Well, yeah, if we get the real story.
Yeah.
This will be... We might get the sanitised story of the beautiful people of Florida playing polo. Yes, I mean, the Rivals programme that's come out, yes, that's back into the 80s, Jilly Cooper. Yes, we know the equestrian world is a world that attracts a lot of rich people, and there's it's quite interesting what goes on behind the scenes. But I would suggest this might be a very controlled environment. Yes, we'll see drama between father and son as once the patron and his son doesn't play well, and there may be some family problems, but we won't necessarily see all that goes on, and I'm not sure how much we will see of the producers in this particular programme.
I have to say, when I saw that credit, executive producers, it's a bit gauche, isn't it? The Duke and Duchess of Sussex in huge capital letters.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's where you go, why? We know, it's almost ramming home the point that they are behind this. Look, he would have said there's an idea to the programme, and obviously with the multi-million-pound deal they've done, they've got to come up with content. But it strikes me as he's gone for an easy route there.
I would have said it would have taken ages to come up with the title, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, and the idea. Let's look at polo in America, which is let's be honest, a very niche sport.
It really is. Rupert, always good to talk to you. Rupert Bell there talks royal commentator. And that was, of course, Rupert's Royal Roundup.
Rupert's Royal Roundup.